Planning permission to develop a new petrol station and shop on the site of an explosion at Creeslough in County Donegal, in which 10 people lost their lives, has been granted by Donegal County Council. The blast happened at a service station in the village on the 7th of October 2022. A number of objections, including some from victims' families, had previously been lodged against Vivo Shell Limited's application for that development. Amanda Ferguson, a journalist, joins us now. Amanda, good morning.
Good morning.
Can you tell us the kind of objections that were lodged and how they were, I suppose, dismissed by the County Council?
Yes, well, there was over 30 objections lodged from family members, and we know in Ireland the importance of commemoration and respect for the dead. So the lawyers for some of the families have said that what's been announced today seeks to rub salt in the wounds of the family. A sibling who lost their sister said in an objection that the proposal threatens to reopen wounds that have yet to heal and inflict further pain upon those who are already burdened with unimaginable grief, and to see the place where a loved one perished transformed into a place of commerce is not only disrespectful but hurtful.
Now, it was a place of commerce, of course, before the explosion happened, and the explosion didn't really have anything to do with the petrol station, did it?
Yes, we know that, but a former employee who worked in the service station said that the rebuilding of the garage on the same site will be re-traumatising for people, and a statement from Phoenix Law said that it was difficult to comprehend a more insensitive and morally bankrupt decision in recent times. It was also referenced it would be unfathomable that the Grenfell Tower, the Stardust nightclub would be rebuilt, and that Creeslough is no different, and that decision, they said, seeks to rub salt in the wounds of the families who have now for a second time in recent months been compelled to fight for what ought to be very basic rights, but fight they will. There was also questions raised by the lawyers for some of the families about the fact that the decision appeared in the media before it was communicated to some of the families, and the suggestion is that the plan permission is going to be challenged. So I'd say there's many more twists and turns to this particular story, and also at the centre of it, we have to remember is a grieving community too.
Now, what about the conditions imposed by the council that might mitigate some of the objections?
Yes, that's right. The council said that they were granting permission for the development, and that they had 10 conditions. So that includes measures related to orderly development, traffic safety, prevention of flooding, sustainable development, waste management, and the protection of the environment. And in its application, Vivo Shell Limited expressed the hope that, to quote, family members of persons who were injured or deceased will see that much consideration and thought has gone into the application to be respectful towards all.
Now, I suppose if you look at this kind of without taking the humanity of local families' trauma into account, if you thought of, say, a town hotel that was burnt down and there were fatalities in such a hotel, and the hotel didn't have another, the town didn't have another hotel, there would be calls on that hotel to be rebuilt to provide a service. It does seem as if the commerce that was going on in the service station before the explosion was valued by the community at the time, and there isn't a substitute.
Indeed, the application proposal said that it was going to incorporate memorials and respect to the victims, but there were these 30 objections that were lodged, and people just sort of can't believe that the site is going to be developed, even though there's obviously a clear need for that kind of facility in the community. The site's also going to have a shop, a beauty salon, apartments, post office, and a fuel pump. That was what it had, and now the proposed building is going to have a whole range of facilities. I think it's one of those difficult topics, Pat, and perhaps the families have felt that they haven't perhaps been centred in that you find that a lot whenever you're talking to people who have been bereaved in such sort of tragic circumstances, that their participation in the process isn't often what they feel that it might be. And of course, different people want different things, and that happens with every set of circumstances that we have to explore. So I'd imagine that the legal challenge will go in, and that will be exhausted before there will be any development.
There's another phase presumably in the planning process, which is on board Planola. So even before you get to any judicial review of any decision that might be made by An Bord. So there may be a long way to run on this, Amanda.
Yes, definitely. We know that the tragic events of Creeslough happened in October of 2022. That even though we're into 2025 now, that it perhaps seems quite fast, the process of turning around that site. So the arguments for and against that will be debated, I'm sure, among the councillors. I'm sure government will have something to say on it today. And as part of the process, all parties have 4 weeks to consider the decision that's been made, and the appeal can then go forward. And obviously the Gardaí investigation continues at the same time.